Thank you not only to M, but to all of the comics who are performing, and thank you to Capital Cider House, who is the other organizer of this show. We all love and appreciate you. Something I've been noticing a lot, especially because a lot of my communication has turned virtual, so I've been doing a lot of these Zoom calls. I've also just been doing a lot of phone calls, chats via Facebook Live, pretty much any virtual communication you can do. And I noticed from doing this that I'm a very long-winded person. A lot of these applications will have a time limit set to them. Like Zoom, for example, if you have a basic Zoom plan, you're really limited to a 40-minute time frame, which is inconvenient for me because even for me telling a regular story, I can bump up against that time frame. I'm a pretty long-winded person. When I was a kid, even into my teenager years, and as recently as 2 weeks ago, sometimes people will tell me to speed it up. They'll just say, Stacey, speed it up. We need to get to the end of the story. And what they don't realize is that if anyone tells me to speed it up, they've just added 30 more minutes to the story just due to like my own stress and anxiety about trying to speed it up. And that's with like an easy conversation about like what I've done earlier today. If it's a difficult conversation, they've added like 2 hours. So keep that in mind, everyone. In other news, my phone, I think, is trying to kill me. I think that phones are trying to rise up and take control now that they think that the human race is in peril. Why do I think this? I'm not a paranoid person. I actually am, but I think I have some backup to this. And it's because my phone will always tell me what the weather is in the morning. Unprompted, it will say, Stacey, did you know that today is 68 degrees? And it's actually the weather today, it's 68 degrees. And then it will follow up and say, it is 5 degrees warmer than yesterday, as a ploy to entice me into going outside. We're not supposed to be going outside. So clearly my phone is trying to encourage me to go outside for selfish reasons. What my phone doesn't understand is that I don't care if it's 80 degrees outside. I'm not going out there. I'm not going outside. The last time I was outside was on Friday. That was just to kind of take a walk around the neighborhood. And before that, it had been a week since I had been outside. I never really liked the outside much, even as a kid. I thought it was too hot. There was too many insects out there. Never really liked being outside, but it's kind of one of those things that you don't realize how much you actually like something until it's taken away from you. Like, I really would like to go outside. I haven't, but that's all right because I've developed some other ways into having fun. For example, from my apartment balcony, I can see all the trains that pass by going into the Silver Spring metro station. So something fun that I like to do is wave at them. Another fun thing that I tried to do 3 days ago is I tried to lure a bird to come into my apartment. I didn't know what the bird would do once it got into my apartment, but I thought it'd be interesting to try. So I opened up my screen door and just waited for this pretty dove to fly in, but it never did. So I just spent about 2 hours watching this bird from inside my apartment. But what I realized from this is that anything can be fun if you just do it long enough. Being on a virtual chat is weird. Whenever I knew I was going to be seeing people, I always tried to put at least a small amount of effort into my appearance, making sure that I was showered and my hair looked okay and I had on a like clean shirt or whatever. But then as soon as I left my apartment, it's like I didn't care about how I looked at all because I couldn't see myself. I could only see other people. Doing virtual communication, all you can see is yourself. Like, even right now, I know I'm supposed to be looking at my camera, which is up top of my computer. I'm honestly just looking at myself. And I know looks aren't everything, but I'm not pleased by what I see. when I'm looking at myself. So, and I don't know how I can change that. I really don't know. Going back to the technology thing for a little bit though, it's so weird to me how my phone is always trying to like take that next step with me, give me more information. It's like your phone. I remember the first cell phone I ever got. I was 14 and it could only text and do calls. It couldn't access the internet. It was just like kind of a bare bones phone. And that's what everyone had at the time. And it's so weird to me how some technology has really advanced and shot upwards and other technology has remained stagnant. And if you don't agree with me, then I would like to say Exhibit A is the garbage disposal. You know, one thing I'd love to see within my lifetime more so than anything else is I would really, really like to have a garbage disposal one day that doesn't sound like I'm massacring a demon on the side. Like whenever you turn on the garbage disposal, it literally sounds like the fiery demon is inside your kitchen and you are destroying it through holy water, or I don't even know. I mean, maybe your mind is thinking about it. I just hate apologizing to people when I turn on the garbage disposal. Anyway, thank you so much to everyone who is watching. Thank you to all the comics, and thank you to Capital Cider House. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Goodbye. Hi, I'm Stacey Axler. Thanks everyone for watching today. Something I've been thinking a lot about is I think a sign of adulthood is owning up to your mistakes. I think everyone can be divided into two categories, either good at owning up to their mistakes or bad at it. I like to consider myself very good at owning up to mistakes, maybe even too good. I'll typically apologize and own up to mistakes even though I haven't done something. The first word out of my mouth is typically sorry. I'll say sorry getting onto the metro. If someone bumps into me, I'm usually the one apologizing to them. But I do think some people are really bad at admitting to their mistakes, and I don't blame those people. I do blame the people who created whiteout. I think whiteout is a tool that has gotten us to not be able to admit when we've made a mistake. It takes courage to stand up and say, you know what, I did something wrong. Well, you can't do it when you have whiteout. You are literally pretending you made no mistake when you use whiteout. And people make mistakes, all right? You're not perfect. You probably wrote a wrong number on your tax forms. No one's judging you, but you think you can't admit to it, so you use whiteout. Something to keep in mind, everyone. Adulthood is an interesting time. I've realized recently that I've reached the point of my late 20s. When I was 27, I was kind of on the fence about admitting that I was in my late 20s. I still tried to cling to the mid 20s, but I'm 28 now, and I have to admit that I'm now in my late 20s. And that's interesting. I have a lot of friends of the similar age who are complaining about how bartenders recently stopped carding them. They just didn't ask for their identification. I kind of understand the upsetness there. I experienced a similar upsetness when a few months ago, when I went to the bank, no one offered me a lollipop. Ever since I was about 3 years old and went to the bank, I've been getting lollipops steadily. People tell me I have a young looking face, but I guess that's over now. I still get carded though. Friendship is weird. Are you familiar with the term backup friend? If not, granted, this is a phrase that I'm trying to get working. But what is a backup friend? A backup friend is someone who a person calls on when they're either fighting with their regular best friend or if their best friend is out of town. I'm happy to admit that I am a backup friend to several people. I know that. I know that when I get phone calls from some people, it's because their real best friend is either not speaking to them or out of the country, maybe touring Ireland. There are a lot of perks to being a backup friend though. So, you know, that's kind of why I'm cool with it. The number one perk that you get from being a backup friend is gossip. You get a lot of good gossip about as being a backup friend. Probably the best gossip is about the friend, the actual friend who was not in the room with you. Yeah, think about it. My phone is trying to figure me out. I don't know if you've been experiencing this, but recently when I'm writing messages, texts, or emails, my phone will give me suggestions on how to respond. The other day, my friend messaged me, "You're the best," and my phone drafted several options for me to respond back. One was, "No, you're the best." And the other was, "Thanks, I know." My phone doesn't understand yet that I'm a horribly self-deprecating person. I don't know that I'm the best. In fact, I would campaign heavily against not being the best. The other thing my phone is trying to understand is how I respond to these type of messages. The "no, you're the best" response is more closer aligned to how I speak to people. I don't like taking compliments. I kind of like to push those compliments back. I'm really hoping to teach my phone more so we stop running into these strange technological glitches where I almost act too cocky in responses to emails and texts. Thanks so much, everyone. I'm Stacey Axler.